Bonjour à tous, hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you found me here. Have you heard of St. Louis in France? French St. Louis is not a city but a person. Louis IX, commonly known as St. Louis, was king of France from 1226 until his death in 1270 during the Eighth Crusade. He is a saint and crusader. He accomplished a lot. If you are not familiar, the Crusades were a series of religious wars directed by the Christian Latin Church in the medieval period. There are many places and things named after St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri is also named after him by the French colonists. Today I'd like to tell you who St. Louis was and show you 4 beautiful places associated with St. Louis in France. I promise you'll love all 4 of them. Let's go. Allons-y. Have you been to the Sainte-Chapelle in Paris? If you haven't, I can tell you. It has the most exquisite 13th century stained glass windows in the world. Pictures look stunning, but they don't do them justice. They're even more spectacular in person. The Sainte-Chapelle is Louis IX's personal chapel and is one of the most famous European architectures of that era. Louis was born on April 25, 1214 at Boissy near Paris. Following the death of his father, Louis VIII, he was crowned in Reims at the age of 12, having his mother as regent until he came of age. Louis IX has been celebrated as a quintessential Christian monarch. The chapel was constructed between 1238 and 1248. It is a royal chapel in the Gothic style, within the medieval Palais de la Cité, now called Palais de Justice, the residence of kings of France until the 14th century, on the Ile de la Cité in the River Seine in Paris. If you want to see the historical monuments and buildings by the Seine, please watch What to Expect to See on the Bateau Mouche Paris video. Also, please check out All About Paris Seine River video as well. Along with the Conciergerie, the Sainte-Chapelle is one of the earliest surviving buildings of the Capetian Royal Palace on the Ile de la Cité. It has one of the most extensive 13th century stained glass collections anywhere in the world. Divided into 15 stained glass bays of the height of 50 feet or 15 meters, the 1,113 stained glass panels of the windows relate scenes of the Old and New Testament and tell the history of the world according to the Bible. When you first set foot in the Sainte-Chapelle, I guarantee that you'd be totally bedazzled by the most brilliant display of color and light you were not prepared for. It was commissioned by King Louis IX to house his collection of Passion relics, including Christ's crown of thorns, one of the most important relics in medieval Christendom. Louis' patronage of the arts inspired much innovation in Gothic art and architecture, and the style of his court was influential throughout Europe. Louis IX is often considered the model of the ideal Christian monarch. On the other hand, he was criticized sometimes for being overly pious to the point of earning a nickname of Monk King. Louis IX reformed the French legal system significantly, allowing petitioners to appeal judgments directly to the monarch. He also endeavored to terminate privy wars and incorporated the presumption of innocence into criminal proceedings to presume that every person accused of any crime is considered innocent until proven guilty. The stained glass of the Sainte-Chapelle was removed and placed into safe storage during World War II. In 1945, a layer of external varnish had been applied to protect the glass from the dust and scratches of wartime bombing. Despite its decoration inside, the exterior of the Royal Chapel is relatively simple and austere. The address is 10 Boulevard du Palais in the first arrondissement of Paris. The nearest metro RER stations are Saint-Michel on RER B or C, Station Châtelet on Metro lines 1, 7, 11, 14, and Station Cité on line 4. The other Gothic architecture of Louis IX's era is the Château de Vincennes. The Château de Vincennes is a former fortress and royal residence on the eastern edge of Paris, alongside the Bois de Vincennes, the largest public park in Paris. The Château de Vincennes was a preferred residence of Louis IX, after the Palais de la Cité, of which the present name is the Palais de Justice. Louis used it more often to hold meetings of the Royal Council. Also, his consort Queen Margaret of Provence and his children often resided there when he was absent from Paris. When Louis IX purchased the reputed crown of thorns from the Emperor Baldwin of Constantinople, he escorted the celebrated relic to Vincennes, and then accompanied it to its final destination in the Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. At this Château de Vincennes, Louis IX said farewell to his family before his departure to the Eighth Crusades, from which he did not return. The Sainte-Chapelle de Vincennes is a Gothic royal chapel within the fortifications of the Château de Vincennes. It was inspired by the Sainte-Chapelle, the royal chapel within the Palais de la Cité in Paris. The Sainte-Chapelle de Vincennes was built in the 14th century, much after the era of Louis IX. Then the Pavilion of the King was built almost 3 centuries later by Louis XIII, in the southwest corner of the fortress between 1610 and 1617. And the Pavilion of the Queen on the opposite side of the courtyard was built between 1658 and 1660, following the same design. The nearest metro station is Château de Vincennes on Line 1, or Vincennes Station on RER. But remember that you need to pay a bit extra to take RER to Vincennes because it's on the outskirts of Paris. Louis departed from Vincennes and went all the way down to Aigues-Mortes and Le Gros du Roi, where his ship and troops were waiting for him. Aigues-Mortes is a fortified medieval town in the Occitania region of southern France. The medieval city walls surrounding the city are very well preserved. The name Aigues-Mortes is a translation of the Latinized form Aquae Mortuae, which means dead water or stagnant water. The name comes from the marshes and ponds that surround the town. In 1240, Louis IX, who didn't want to depend on the Italian maritime republics for transporting troops to the Crusades, needed direct access to the Mediterranean Sea. But at the time, all the other ports in Marseille, Agde, and Montpellier belonged to the other noblemen. So he acquired Aigues-Mortes and the surrounding lands by exchange of properties with the monks of the abbey. Louis built a road between the marshes and then built the Constancy Tower to house the garrison. The famous Tour de Constance, the Constance's Tower or the Constancy Tower in English, is the only defensive element of Aigues-Mortes. In the center of this room, a large circular opening close by a gate is the only access route to the basement reserve. This room measures 10 meters in diameter and 12 meters high. The spiral staircase serves as access to the upper floor. When the revocation of the Edict of Nantes in 1685 made any Protestant worship illegal in France, the Constance's Tower served as a prison for heretic Protestant women. You can go up the tower viewing terrace, which grants a 360-degree panoramic view including the canal, Le Canal du Rhône à 7, surrounding Aigues-Mortes. Aigues-Mortes was where Louis IX twice departed for the 7th Crusade in 1248 and for the 8th Crusade in 1270, where he died of dysentery in Tunis. Louis was canonized by Pope Boniface VIII in 1297. He is the only French king to be declared a saint. Aigues-Mortes is located in the Petit Camargue, some 90 kilometers or 56 miles northwest of Marseille, 33 kilometers or 21 miles southwest of Nîmes, and 20 kilometers or 12 miles east of Montpellier. The medieval heritage from the 13th and 14th centuries of the town and its proximity to the sea attract many tourists. The quadrilateral city walls are 1,640 meters or a mile long and comprise 6 prestigious towers including the Consensus Tower and 10 gates. You can stroll along these 13th century ramparts. You see the different landscapes on each side beyond the wall. To the south, Salang and the salt works. To the west, the port. To the north, the new town. And to the east, the fields. I'll show you these pink salt marshes in another video. Inside the walls is amazing too. Side streets are so lovely, and really inside this walled city, you feel that you are stepping back in time. It's a wonder that a medieval city has been preserved this well. Here you will find bakeries selling fougasse d'Egmont. Among them, Poitevin Frères is the most renowned bakery where you can find fantastic fougasse. Usually, fougasse is a traditional culinary specialty of Provençal cuisine. It's savory flatbread with olives, onions, cheese, or mushrooms. But fougasse d'Egmont is a sweet fougasse, flavored with orange blossom, often with lemon zest, with a particularly soft texture. It's incredibly light and the orange flavor is amazing. A must-eat in Egmont. You can take a mini train if you want to save walking time or if it's too hot. Egmont is situated on the junction of the Canal du Rhône à Sète and the Chenal Maritime to Le Gros du Roi. Le Gros du Roi is a commune in southern France, about 7 kilometers south from Egmont. It is the only commune in Gard department to have a frontage on the Mediterranean Sea. As mentioned, King Louis IX, who reigned from 1226 to 1270, had no other port available to him on the Mediterranean. For the 7th and 8th Crusades, ships docked alongside the rampart of Egmont and passed through the old channel to the sea at Le Gros du Roi and Gros Louis. Of course, there's no more warships or soldiers. It is a great vacances town with many tourists. There are excellent seafood restaurants where you can have an amazing lunch before strolling around towards the Mediterranean Sea. The sea is calm and beautiful, perfect for a picnic or sunbathing with the sound of the waves. It is a lovely beach for walks along the sea as well. I love the Camargue regions in southern France. There are so many things to see, places to visit, and so much rich history to learn here. And last but not least, food is amazing. But again, food is amazing wherever you go in France. The Camargue region would be a great place to include in your list of destinations when you visit France next time. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my weekly videos. I hope to see you again next week. Thanks so much for watching.